Due process arguments for more meaningful procedural safeguards. Watch this. I'm going to have to skip down. Hopefully y'all can go back and play it. In certain situations, children and parents' constitutional due process rights demand some minimally sufficient procedure safeguards at permanency hearings. At the very least, the decisions be based on evidence. Parties have the ability to present evidence and call witnesses, and witnesses be subject to a cross-examination. In addition to these trial court rights, the right to appeal adverse decisions will be discussed in part 3. Look at this. Considering the importance of the private interest at stake, the risk of erroneous decision under the procedures currently used, and the probable benefit of alternative procedures and the government interest, government interest, even though they're private businesses, to discuss what circumstances permanency hearings should trigger these procedural protections on a constitutional basis. But they ain't using constitutional basis. Private interest. The importance of constitutional rights to family integrity is well settled. We're going to look at Troxel versus Granville. In 2000, when it was most recently addressed, the constitutional rights of parents in detail, the Supreme Court wrote that the liberty interest at issue in this case, the interest of parents in the care, custody, and control of their children, is perhaps the oldest of the fundamental liberty interests recognized by that court. Y'all want to know why I use the habeas corpus? Because it's a freaking fundamental liberty interest that is not supposed to be touched by government officials or private businesses trying to come in without proving you did something wrong and stealing your little ones. They never proved I did a crime, and they most likely never proved you did a crime, but they're tricking us to acting like they did, while using a court that's paid for by them to get a judge to write an order that's not an order, because they're making money in the case. You can't do it. For nearly a century, parental rights have formed core elements of the Supreme Court's substantive due process jurisprudence and have been repeatedly reaffirmed, being described as the matter of intrinsic human rights. Reviewing these cases, the court concluded, in light of extensive precedent, it cannot be doubted that the due process clause of the 14th Amendment protects the fundamental, due process of the 14th Amendment protects the fundamental rights or right of parents to make decisions concerning the care, custody, and control of their children. Although they are less established than parents' rights, the custody of their children, some courts have recognized the reciprocal right of the children to live with their parents. So here, Sandra Day O'Connor so beautifully speaking showed that parents have a right to control their children's upbringing, and children have a right to be with their parents. And this is being broken by these courts who come in and just remove your children with no proof of anything being done wrong just because an agency says so. Okay, so we keep seeing this foolishness. We keep seeing all of this trial type procedures and all this stuff. And I just want to let you guys know, I hope that you can see, and excuse my sweat. I'm sorry. I hope that you can see that these people are running game on us. I'm hoping that you can see that the Administrative Procedures Act tells us that they were going to be doing things that would destroy the judiciary. I hope you can see that the Administrative Procedures Act told us that they can't just come in and do whatever they want to do as an agency without evidence and remove your little ones. It goes against the Constitution. Now, this is why they don't bring us into a court of record, because a court of record will demand that you bring in evidence, independent evidence, not from an agency that just gets to write a report and say whatever they want to, and there's no punishment if they lie. This is why the Vreeken case, the Hardwick case, when it came out and it said that any caseworker should know that you can't just lie on a parent to remove their children. When we see that, you cannot use those methods. But this is what's happening in these private membership associations, because you're allowed to lie in there because it's a private business. It has nothing to do with you going in front of a jury of your peers or a court of competent jurisdiction, guys, okay? So I hope this video has been beneficial to you. We see that it's the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court judges that are handling most of these cases. It is not a court of record. It is not the Superior Court of Arizona. It's another branch that is working under the court that is contracted to provide services, and the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court judges are teaching people across the country how to steal our kids from us, how to rip them off, how to run a private business. They're using the private membership organization in which they get paid money. They get paid big money to take your little ones through Title 4E. They're running scams. Now, I'm going to tell y'all how to break a membership association, because I own membership associations. A membership association allows you to work in the private, where you can do things and the state or the federal government has no jurisdiction over what you're doing. When people make raw milk and they sell the raw milk bottles and give you the milk for free, that's how you no longer see feds coming in with guns taking over their practice, or you see or business. You see chiropractors using private membership organizations now, and everybody in the membership organization can allow for the services to be provided, and it's all outside of government jurisdiction. And there's only one way to get by it. To get by it, you have to show nefarious acts happening inside of the trust or the membership association or the organization. Once you can show nefarious acts, it can be penetrated. So what's happening is that there's private courts and private businesses. Call Arizona today and ask if they work with the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges. Call the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges and see their 30,000 members across the United States, guarding that line of judges, different parties, all taking part with them to discuss outcomes and bring forth more money in business. Guys, we are being had. It's a hoax. We need to pull them into courts of record. Every individual party who does something wrong, send them affidavits. Let it be known what they did wrong to you. My phone is going to die, so I'm going to try to hurry to get off. But let them know what they've done wrong to you. We can talk about how to do that for days. John Gentry said he want to get with me, work on some stuff. Let's get together as a nation and blow the back out of their little freaking private business. They think that we're stupid. They think that we won't track down everything they're doing, find every little bit of money that's hidden. We will find every little thing. You're not going to get away. You're not going to get away. We're going to see you affidavits.